We in there. We in there. So how y'all doing, man?
Going on, bro?
Peace, peace. What was you saying? You had what you got going on today, Corey?
Cool.
You said what?
What you say you had going on?
Oh no, I'm at the gas station right now. But no, I ain't got much going on. Just making some runs. I'll
Okay.
make it run.
Okay. Okay.
Gun though.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm riding shotgun.
Okay. Okay. For sure. Yeah, man. Another episode of the Bro Foundation. We in here.
Yes, sir.
No, we missed last week, but that's kind of part of what we gonna talk about today, in a sense, anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those situations where, um, we gotta take that time out sometime. Uh,
Yep.
you gotta. Oh, sometimes things just get heavy, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes life be life, and sometimes you know what I'm saying, and we just gotta, as much as we want to push through and not be still. Sometimes we just gotta say, you know what, hey, I just need this day, man, just to just reflect and put everything in perspective um, and so that's kind of what we kind of want to talk about anyway. The effects of depression, social anxiety, just how it can be sometimes. So yeah, like I said, so the people who know we didn't put up episode last week because it was kind of like a consensus, a general consensus that we just kind of needed to take a day, and it just kind of speaks volumes to, like I said, how life can get tough sometime, and you gotta just sit yourself down and not getting on your own way too much, and you know sit with your thoughts, process the thoughts, and let them be what they're gonna be. Um, and like I said, that could be a form of depression to a degree. You know what I mean? Like because you just start getting in your head and start overthinking stuff, and life might not be where you want to be. Might not be where you want it to be. You just start getting down on yourself. We as men, we have a tendency of expecting a lot out of ourselves, and when we're not where we think, like I said, where we think we should be, we can get down on ourselves really really easily. Um, so it's just really important to just take that time, man. And we know a lot of men go through this, just trying to put too much on our shoulders. Sometimes we have a tendency of wanting to carry the world on our shoulders, as opposed to understanding. It's difficult. It's one of those things that it might be difficult. I know for me it is sometimes to realize and understand that we don't have to carry the load by ourselves. We don't have to be the only one um, that's doing all the work. There are people that we can reach out to, but I say when you've dealt with what you have, and we all have our own story. There's reasons to why you might feel that way. There's reasons, and a lot of it goes back to childhood. The things that you might have experienced as a child, not having anybody that you can confide in, not having anybody that you can go to and or that has ever helped you. So as we get to be adults, that just continues. It doesn't really stop. It just kind of continues. So yeah, man. I know how it can affect me sometimes, and I have to kind of get out of my head and kind of. Um, One of my things is just really going to the water. I like to go down to the water and just gaze for a little bit, just because it just puts me at ease. It puts me at peace, and so that was one of the things that really helped me. And shout out to you guys for reaching out. I appreciate that. Hitting me and say, hey, how you doing all right? You doing all right, and that helps. That's definitely important. I mean, I'm not used to having anybody. Like I said, I'm not used to having people that I can, call on, and when I'm in those difficult times, or people even just reaching out to me. I mean, I do have my brother. They're not gonna discount my brother. My son is here as well. But like I said, it's it's one of those things you have to kind of rewire to fully understand that, okay, you do have people that you can reach out to, or that can reach out to you. But if it's not something that you're used to, you have to use your own methods and things that you are used to doing and going where you're used to going. So like I said, I definitely appreciate y'all for tapping in and, just checking on me and just making sure that, I was all right. Cause I was, like I said, I was going through a little something on Sunday, and I just had to kind of just step back, and, you guys, all kind of agreed, like, you know what, yeah, we can all take this day. I know a couple others, we were going through something as well. But, as like I said, it's just one of those things that you have to be able to do that. So what are some methods that you guys use to kind of, I guess you would say, calm yourself, calm your mind, get back into that good space, that good headspace?
I'm gonna go along with the what you had brought out too as well. Is going sitting by the water. Also meditation, man. Meditation saved my life every day, man. It's like a lot of times whenever you have all of this heaviness on you, man, it's like you have to find a way to release it, and when you find different channels or different outlets or different things that you can get into, like the channel in your mind to make it, to keep it going the way it needs to go. Because, when I read the other day, whenever we was talking about this subject, and this is what we was going to talk about, this brought one of my avenues, because this is something that I deal with a lot, depression and anxiety and fighting my emotions, daily. So I saw online where it says that it's 6 million men per year get diagnosed with depression. And that's a high number, because of, and they say it's mainly like work and stress related things that a lot of men feel, like you said earlier, Ty, about like, the heaviness that you feel, the pressure that you feel, like just on a normal day or basis, it can affect you in different ways. And, having those type of people like brothers, friends or confidants or people that can be there for you in your corner when you go through these things is very vital, because no one should have to walk alone. No man or no woman, nobody should have to walk alone. You should have someone that could be in your corner to help you through, issues. But the main thing that we have to release is trust. It's trusting somebody, because a lot of times we hold things in and we don't let them out, because of lack of trust of who can I trust with my information, or will I get judged by this, or some, in that nature. So finding someone you can trust too, man, like that's a big thing, man, that you can tell your information to, and they hear you vent, and they can actually help you go through these things. So, depression is it's a very, very hard thing, man, because it's hard to get yourself out of it too as well, because your emotions taps in, and then your emotions telling your mind what it should feel and how you should think about different things. So finding ways to, and I love to write, so writing helps me get a lot of my emotions out whenever I don't have no one to talk to, or if I feel like very, very deep into it, I start writing, and I write to myself a lot of times just to tell myself that it's okay, and that you are a good person. You're gonna make it. Everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that you can have, and you don't have to go through it alone. So that's one of the big things for me.
You wanna go? All right. Myself, I I went through a whole lot. Like like 1999 in the year 2000, all the way up to basically them first 10 years. I went through a lot of hell. I had a lot of strong things really hit me. And I all but broke. Um, Without going, I guess, real deep into it right now, I had a lot of time to myself. I didn't reach out to anybody. I didn't talk to anybody because of things that happened. I was very untrusting of anybody. At least not, that deep in me. I can protect from here inward. I can't. Ain't nothing I can do out there. People can do what they do, but I can protect this. So I just internalized a lot, and it's not good for men to be by themselves that long, or anybody for that matter, but especially not us. I It really disturbed me to my core, like to the point where my faith was really shaken. Like I was a whole different person from what I am now. And in some cases, it wasn't any. I wasn't. I wasn't a great person. Looking back at myself then, at that point in time, I was in survival mode, and that's how I was moving. Anything else was, secondary. Self-preservation, first law of nature. Well, even in that, I still tried to maintain, I guess, a lot of my own personality and figured out ways to rationalize some of the things that I was doing, so that I could say, well, I might have been doing this, but they were cool with it. They knew it was what, that regardless of if they participated or not, it still was me inflicting my harm on other people. Whatever was hitting me, whatever was picked up, I was putting on other people unknowingly. Well, luckily enough, I had gotten to a point where it was just enough was enough. I just couldn't keep going, sustaining that particular life. And living like that and then being by myself, luckily enough, I was able to start looking internally and starting changing stuff about myself, realizing my participation, my fault in a lot of things that happened during that period. And through that, I figured out a way of, I guess, put my own self on the couch, so to speak. Like every situation that happened, I could step out and look at third person without bias and like, you know what? That's where you were wrong at. And like, you know what? In this particular instance, you're perfectly all right. And I was able to get myself in a lot better place than I once was just by me being able to rationalize. And I guess that's, if I had to give any advice to anybody as far as dealing in mental health, some cases of mental health, I'm not going to say that's with everybody. Everybody's different. But first and foremost, know your capacity. Know how much you can take and what are your triggers, if that's possible. If not, then you need to be able to figure out how to throw your own self lifelines. Because sometimes when stuff hits you, you might not necessarily have somebody you can run and talk to. Hey, bro, let me holler at you. I just need to get this off my chest. Because once you get down to that point, again, you're going to feel very vulnerable. So you're going to protect this at all costs. So anybody that even if you're married, if that feels like it's a threat within your own household, you're still not going to be able to share with this person. So you need to be able to figure out how to be able to throw yourself a lifeline, something that can help you hold on just a little longer. Secondly, you need to find some sort of community. If it's not any of your immediate friends, not in your immediate family, you need to figure out some sort of community where you can open up some sort of safe place. You have to be able to release that pressure, because some days that capacity level could be a gallon. The next day it could be 2 cups. It's just however your mood swings that particular day. You just need to be able to know what's your capacity at whatever given moment, your ability to be able to not react to it, or to at least realize what it is, and reach out for that lifeline. But the main thing, I guess, what I would have to say is community. You need to be able to have people that you can talk to. I've met people in just random conversation when I was doing this traveling. And people tell stories, and it's only because they're never gonna see me again. They'll just unload whatever's going on in life. Think their husband cheating on them. I got a family member that's dying. We just waiting to hear the word. They just unload just because they finally found somebody that I guess they could trust, because hell, they're never gonna see me again. In all honesty, if that's what I can offer to somebody that's in a particular state, I'm always an ear. Because I know what it feels like to have been in a place and you had nobody to talk to. And to try to how to be able to function and figure out life in the midst of all that. I don't wish that on nobody.
No,
I
that's
got
facts. Go ahead, Corey. Yeah.
y'all going in, man. I don't. When I look at it, like, first off, I agree with you, Henry. I feel like having that community, or having a person's outlet that you can, got access to, that's definitely vital. I can't really think or even say off the back of my head that I suffer with anxiety or depression, but I do feel like there is moments where I feel like shit is hitting the fan a little bit too consistently, all at the same time. So in those moments is when it's like, well, damn, what the fuck can I do? Like, what am I supposed to do in these moments? And for me, I definitely go by the water, which, Ty and Jesse said, that's my go-to, like, year round. Music. Music is another outlet, man. And for me, if I didn't have music, I don't know what I would do. I'm gonna be honest with you. And outside of music, bro, is reading and journaling. Like, kind of like what y'all said. Like, I don't necessarily write to myself, which I think is dope, but I do journal like my thoughts. So it's kind of writing to myself. I'm just talking out loud, but putting it on pad. And at some point I can come back to that and read it and see where I've came from. But the book that I am reading, which y'all know is Atomic Habits, is literally making me accountable to myself without nobody else knowing. Because I know my small triggers, I know my small downfalls, and each percent that I'm focusing, every time I focus on something, I just 1% better. So again, if I'm feeling away, just do better the next day. It's the smallest measurement. Just do better, 1%. And then, a whole year from now, I can look back and like, okay, I definitely made, progress in that. But for me, man, I think music helps me escape the world that I'm in. And that's why I feel like it's so vital to listen and read, because one is, a verbal, the other one is mental. You got to be mindful to what you take in, because that stuff starts to play a factor in your internal subconscious and your well-being. And it's like, if I'm not paying attention to that, I'm gonna be walking around here feeling on edge. I'm gonna be mad at the world. I'm gonna be listening to whatever, because it's like the music I'm listening to is, they on bullshit. They spitting shit that ain't for me. So it's like I have to remove that so I can start to, like, poise myself in certain situations. For instance, I could be riding down the street having a bad day, and if somebody cut me off, or if somebody do something like that, and I'm already in a bad mood, and I got this music playing with my temper, is I'm for sure gonna react to that. But I gotta recognize that to be like, okay, well, why am I reacting? What caused it? Was the person really cutting me off, or was I just mad that they didn't use the blinker? Like, what was the, you know what I mean? But those little things throughout the day help me realize what I'm going through as a whole. And that's the only reason why I say, like, I don't necessarily have, like, I'm not anxious. I'm not at all, like, in the state where I feel like I'm depressed. But when life get to life, and like Ty said, man, it's like you only can do so much before you start to crumble, before you start to feel like I don't got nothing else to do but sit here and just sit in it. And sometimes that's okay. Just sit in what you're going through and just being. That's that's exactly what you need to do. And go through those emotions, go through those feelings, go through that thought process so you can start to understand what it is that you're going through. And then whenever you feel the need to, that's when you can open up and talk to somebody about it, because not all of us have that mental capacity to go through it and then share it with somebody in the same time. It got to be separate, or some people can. But whatever works for you, I know with me, it's like I'm starting to open up more about the stuff I go through. And again, it's trust too. Like Jesse said, like sometimes it's trust. And if you don't have that, you're gonna bottle all that in. So it's just like, how are you then letting that out? You can't keep it in because it's just gonna fester, it's just gonna boil up. So to me, that's just me. Like again, music, reading, journaling, and of course, working out. That's the number one. Working out is my go-to. Like working out and music, man. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm about to go lift some weights. And without that, I would know. Saying that music is my top two. But again, that's not for everybody. So I mean, that's just me though. That's my take on it.
No, that's real. When yeah, so on Sunday when I was, when it first kind of just hit me, I just definitely, like you said, I went and lifted, and worked out in my little shed area. I got a little weight bench out there and curl bench and some a couple other little things, but I just definitely went out there and just got a quick workout in, because that definitely that's a great way to release that tension, that stress. And like you said as well, man, music has, man, always been helpful for me, especially writing music. Like, being that, I've always, I'm an MC. I don't call myself a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I call myself, I'm an artist, I create art with my music, that kind of thing. But it's in the times that was in stressful situations or depressed type situations, the music has always helped me through, you know. I can remember a time specifically when, like I said, I was just going through it. It was, that was still during my marriage, and I couldn't really bring the pain home. I couldn't bring it to work, and I think I might have spoken this before, but it was one of those situations where all I could do was really go to my pen. I had to go to my pen and wrote a song, and as soon as I wrote the last word to that song, the pain, I mean, like it just lifted off my chest like a ton of bricks, and that was I literally felt it, like you can. It's crazy how, even though it's not a literal situation, or it's just a figurative, but I literally felt the pain, like it just, the way I could breathe. It literally just lifted off my chest. It was crazy how it happened, and so I definitely thank music a lot for just being one of my go-tos as well. Of course, listening to music, being, a hip hop fan or just music fan for the longest. So really, no matter what kind of music it is, if it has a good soul to it, some good vibrations, some high vibrations to it, then, it could definitely, be beneficial and helpful as well. But kind of speaking to a couple different things that you guys kind of spoke on as well. I grew up a very emotional child, very, very, in my emotions a lot. And that kind of, as an adult, that kind of made me not want to deal with my emotions as much, because I knew it controlled me so much, as a child and growing up. And so there's a lot of times when I might be going through something, and I won't let the pain show, because I don't want that emotion to control me, because like I said, I just remember how much it affected me and controlled me, growing up. And so that's some of the things that you have to kind of, like you said, you have to be able to, and I think it was you, Henry, you said you got to be able to figure out those triggers. You have to be able to sit with yourself and ask those hard questions. You have to do that, because that's the only way you're going to get past it and going to heal. Because a lot of times we don't want to do that. I mean, like we have a hard time I said, asking ourselves those real accountability type questions. But it's highly beneficial because you can like you said, you can pinpoint things. You can say, okay, so you ask yourself, why are you this way? And be real about it, not trying to, sugarcoat it, not trying to, do anything like that. But if you sit back and ask yourself that hard question and you can really answer it at a full accountability, it will help you. Like there's been times as well when I, figured out, why am I this way? Why do I, treat my relationships like this? Why do I shut down? Why do I? And then I'll sit, I'm like, it's because this. And when you have that moment of clarity, it's a double-edged sword, because it's one of those things where you're like, it's like, wow, you feel really good, glad that you were able to pinpoint it, but it also hurts to a degree, because you realize how much you've either hurt somebody else, hurt yourself, and kind of cut yourself off at the knees with different situations, so it could be, it's a good and a bad thing, because like I say, you finally figured it out, and that's where the clarity, that's where the happiness, or that's where the good feeling comes from. But then you just realize how much you might have hurt yourself in that process of you finally figuring it out. So that could be one of those situations where like I said, you just got to find, okay, it's like, oh, boom, you figured it out. What's the next step? What do you do now? Now that you know where you are, now that you know what you did, what do you do now? And then you're able to move forward because you figured it out. You kind of got to that point where you're like, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do now. But also, what's also important is you have to remove yourself. You have to remove yourself from that stressful environment, man. Like a lot of times, we will stay in those environments that keep us stressed out, and you gotta remove yourself from those environments, man. Like you have to, because otherwise you're not going to get better. You're not going to heal. You're not going to find any clarity. The more that you continue to put yourself in those environments where you're going to be, you're stressed out and has you feeling some type of way. The people, like I said, places, environments, whatever. Like I say, if you know people that's going to continue to keep you in that stressful mindset, you got to remove yourself from that person. If you're going to go back to you go to a certain area where people are going, that brings that anxiety out. You got to remove yourself from that environment, because you're not going to get better. You know what I mean? And that's the whole idea is to grow and to get better. And another thing I think you said, Henry, is like, because people that you don't know will come in and unload everything that they might be going through, and that's usually because when somebody's not emotionally attached to you, or that's not emotionally attached to the situation, it allows you to speak more freely. That's why bartenders, let's say bartenders are like therapists. Hairstylists are like therapists, because those people don't have any connection to what you're going through. They typically don't know the people that you're dealing with. So you can unload it and speak on what you need to speak on, because like I said, that person has no connection to what you're going through. So you can really say the things that you feel like you can't say to those people. And in that sense, it could, in a sense, provide you that clarity that you're looking for. Or like I said, you're able to get it off your chest. You've been holding it in for a long time, but you might, like I said, you might go have a drink real quick, and bartender will ask you, how's everything going? Oh man, boom, they'll unload. You'll just kind of let it out, or you might go get your head. This is like man, when we go to the barbershop, man, like that's where a lot of times that's where our place of peace can be. Just heading to the barbershop and getting cut up or whatever. And women, when they go to the beauty salon, my son's mom, she's been a hairstylist for many years, and she's she's told me some stories where, you know, nothing, I mean, nothing direct, but as far as like, she just told me how like she basically, she enjoys her job. Not she doesn't just cut hair. She doesn't just do people's, you know, makeover, so to speak. She like really affects people. You know, she has a kind heart, and she's actually able to really talk to people and kind of not necessarily play devil's advocate, but ask people those questions that might need to be asked to help them come to that moment of clarity. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, you know, you have to find those spots. You got to remove yourself from those situations. And like I said, again, just ask yourself those hard questions, because only you know the answer. You know, you know the answer, but you got to be willing to ask yourself that question so you can come to that answer. But sometimes, you know, we as men, you know, our ego get in the way, or we just don't want to acknowledge it, and we won't even do it. But once you're able to sit down and ask yourself them hard type questions, that's how you're gonna heal. And so, like I said, it's just highly important to really do that. I think that's of one of the most important things to do, is just, you know, like you said, Corey, you got to be still, you know, just be, but be willing to sit back and ask those questions, and realize what conclusion you come to, and whatever conclusion you come to, be willing to take that step and get better.
Yeah, broski, you spoke a lot right there, man. And to piggyback off of what you were saying, I'd like to give a big shout out to Charlemagne the guy, bro, because that brother there promotes mental health a lot, man, and it helped me to go find a therapist, that person that you can talk to when there's no one else around, you know. So, you know, especially being from the Black community, man, you know, like we kind of was raised where it's kind of like, you know, mental health is kind of like something that makes you look, you know, odd, you know, or crazy, or you're not, you know. So it's nothing wrong with you per se, you know. It's just for you to let out what you feeling, you know. And that's what I brought it back to, having that trust thing, because like what you said, Ty, because that was very key what you said. That person that don't know you, you can be a little more comfortable with that, because they're not going to judge you. You get what I'm saying? They're not going to judge the situation. You might be able to get it out and say what you need to say about it. So, you know, I understanding that, man, like with Charlemagne, I brought out the importance of that. And I had tried it out, man, you know, because I was a nail biter, bro. I was a worrier. I watched my dad worry a lot. He got a lot of anxiety. So it built that inside of me, and I wasn't confident in what I wanted to do in life, as far as like making my decisions for me, you know. So depression was big on me, man. Just laying in the bed for days, like didn't want to talk to nobody, don't want to get out of that black hole. But you know, I tried it, man. You know, I reached out to this lady. Shout out to Miss Joyce, my therapist still to this day. She's a great person. Um, I'm able to talk to her about those deep things that I can't share with anybody, you know, or that I didn't feel comfortable with, you know. But she helped me get to this place where I'm at right now. So shout out to that, man. So therapy really works, bro. To y'all, to the people that's listening out there, you know, don't be scared to seek out for help. Is always something, you know, like Henry brought out a community, you know, like it got 1-800 numbers, anything if you feel suicidal or anything like that too as well. So just, it's always, remember this, is always just a thought. If you can get past your emotion, you'll be able to fight anything. You know, it's like, because emotions try to keep you in bondage, it try to hold you down, you know. And if you can think of a positive thought or something that can make you laugh or kind of like get over it, and that one thing that you always fear, it always comes down to, it's not nothing at the end, because you'd be like, man, why was I even scared of that in the first place? So just keep on pushing, you know, and find help, man. Just that's the biggest thing, man. Just find help. Find somebody you could talk to, like Ty brought out too as well, or somebody. If you can't trust that person, go find you some help with the therapy, like I did. So, and then we can, you know, you could be all right. You know, you could be able to talk about these type of things, and it don't affect you anymore. So,
That's facts, though. I'm gonna let you go, Henry, but no, y'all definitely hitting them all on the button.
No, I was just about to say if you going through something, and because I do understand anxiety and mental health, it is real. It is very, very real, and it is probably a living hell for a lot of people. But if you got people around you that you call friends, and then when you get into a low point, out of any of them, you don't have anybody that you feel that you can call and talk to. Yeah, see about getting some professional help. While you out, you might want to shop for some new friends. It should be at least one person you got that if you know the chips all down, if I can't count on nobody else, that's my dog. If you don't have nobody when you in that ditch that you can, you know, look to for help, you need a whole new group around you. And all honesty, I guess once you get out of whatever you're going through or you get to a level playing field, really assess why you have this group of people around you when they don't offer anything to you.
No, you just hit another nugget, man. And one thing I want to touch on, just touching on like the people around you. Fab said something like, uh, he said something, but the word that's popping up in my head is beneficial. And it just makes me think like, are these people beneficial to your well-being? Or have they just been official to what you've been going through? Or they've been solid to who they are, but are they actually benefiting you any? Because if you can't have that outlet, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Because for me, for instance, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up and down, if it's a day or weeks go by and y'all don't hear from me that I went to work out, you need to be checking on me. Because that's that point where I don't care about shit. Because if I don't go work out, I don't even care. My girl asked me one time, like, why do I go work out? And she's like, is it for the physical or is it for the mental? And honestly, I think I answered it's both. But when I think about it, in retrospect, it's for the mental. Because the sharper I get my mental, the more I'm in this gym. If my head ain't right, if I ain't in the right headspace, I'm not gonna go to the gym. I'm not gonna want to go put in no physical work because I'm not gonna find a value in it. I'm gonna be like, what for? Like, what is gonna do for me? But I find value in it. Why? Because I find value in having a clear head and a healthy body and just being able to move and be mobile. So it's just like you got to think about it. Like, what are you really doing? Like Jesse said, if what you going through ain't even that big of a deal, at the end of the night, you're not gonna be worried about this. Why stress yourself out? Why put yourself through those thoughts that's gonna just take you down this rabbit hole, and the end result is still gonna be the same as it was. That's for me where it's like I started to accept things for what they are. Like I'm not gonna change it. I'm not here to try to, you know what I mean, add this to it. At some point, you gotta accept things for what they are. Then you'll go into stuff with the understanding of I'm okay with the results. And for me, I don't know if you deal with this, Ty, being a Scorpio, there's times as man, you want to be in control. And being in control makes you want to have a certain type of result because of the control. Like, okay, I don't want to go through this again. So then I need to be in control so I don't see that end result. But that's a scare tactic right there. You already thinking negative to be in control and because of the outcome. But in reality, if you just allow things to be what they are, you don't go down that rabbit hole. Now you can be free and open to whatever happens. And for me, that's how I keep grounded. Like whatever it is gonna be what it is. Like I can't change something. If I can change it how it go, uh accept what you can't change and change what you can or whatever the you know what I mean, whatever however it go. So it's just like think about it. If what you're going through right now you can change it, then put your best foot forward to change it. If you can't, then you have to accept it because that's the only other option you got. So when I have these moments when I feel like, everything ain't right, I'm fucked up or whatever, I start to go back to that book. What can I change right now to better tomorrow? Again, it may be improving my friendship. It may be reading a book. It may be working out. It could be a little bit of everything, or it may just be one thing. But you got to know yourself to then find out the answer. That's, you know what I mean, like I said, for me, that's how I know. I know me. Like I've been in this skin for a while now. So like I said, if I don't want to go work out, I ain't reading no books. I ain't talking music. Something wrong, and I know that. So it's just like that's that point. Now it ain't all just sprinkles and whatever. Now she is real. So, but that's me though.
No, that's real biz, man. And like you said, working out, it's a known fact that, working out actually it does help your mental. Like even if you're not feeling good, mentally, you might if you start working out, it's like you're working inward. And that's the whole idea. It's like the more so if you are feeling down yourself and you start working out, that's why you look at people who let's say if they end a bad relationship and they start, like I said, they'll start working out, and it's to keep them out of their head, because working out, what does it do? It creates those what's the word? I mean, it's not, is it serotonin or is it
Endorphins.
endorphins? Endorphins. And endorphins only make you feel better. That's what they're designed to do. You know what I mean? So like when you are in that bad mindset, people who, like I said, who left bad relationships or dealing with different things in their life, they'll start working out, gung ho working out, boom, 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 and then all of a sudden they'll realize it puts them in a better mindset. So like I said, it's just like working inward. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's also like what you said too, man. Journaling. Journaling is highly important. Like a lot of times, and I can't say that I journal just to keep it a buck, but I use my music as kind of like my journaling. You know what I mean? Like I'll like I said, I'll write songs, and I'll like I said, with the song one of the songs that I just finished. Like I said, that's out now. That was a very critical song to create, because like I said, I had to go back and kind of really pinpoint all the different in the different things that happened. Um, and it came, in a sense, came full circle. And that's, in a sense, when I fit in the song, it's like basically talk about how, parents that are, if you're a single mom, make sure that if you do everything you can to put that party life on the shelf. Be there for your child during especially the formative years. Because those are times when they say the first your first 7 years defines it basically defines that's your standard, in a sense. Like everything that you go through in those first 7 years kind of forms the rest of your life. So if you're going through a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff at that young age, the rest of your life is kind of based from that mindset. So that's why, in those young years, it's important to receive love from your parents. It's important to, not be in survival mode, because if you do receive it from that very young age, it's almost like that's how your brain is wired now, and it's so that's all you're going to expect, in a sense. But yeah, man, journaling is one of those things. Like I said, you have to get it out of your head. There's we got so much going on in here, and it's just swirling around in so many different directions, and it's like a powder keg. you know. So to be able to get it out of your head to release it is one of the best things that you can do, because it's going to free up that space. You know, yeah, it's a big deal, man. And just lastly, that book, and you spoke to it as well, man. It's like the book that you're reading, the Atomic Habits, I guess you'll say they're all along the same type of lines, but the power of now. That's where we kind of that's where a lot of the depression, the anxiety, and all that kind of stuff stems from, because we're either thinking about the past or we're thinking about the future. You know, when you're in the now, you realize it helps you realize like, okay, what am I dealing with right now at this moment? And typically you're not it's nothing, you know. And if it is, it's something that's, it's like you said, what can I do right now to fix what I'm going through? And if you can do something right now, that's when you have the power. You have no power of something that already happened. You have no power of something that you're thinking is going to happen. You know what I mean? That's where you have to kind of reframe your brain and think, okay, right now, what's going on? You know, and it's really just a matter of being, you know, you have to. I think Steve Harvey said it. You know, it's like when you're dealing with, you know, when you're going through all the, you know, the things in your mind, and you might get down on yourself and depressed or whatever. Think about all the things that you're grateful for. Just think about the gratitude. Think about everything that you have right now that you can that you appreciate. Like you're breathing, your family, you got a good job, you got, you know, this, whatever. Think about all the good things that you have, all the positive things that you have going on in your life. Then you when you put that in perspective, it's like, okay, you know, right now things ain't so bad. You know, of course, they might be better, but you know what? There's somebody out there right now, I wish they had the problems that you had. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out there right now wishes they were dealing with what you're dealing with. Because to them, they got mountains and mountains of troubles. But if they, you know, so it's just about, you know, it's just about really just putting that in perspective and realizing, okay, you know what? I'm definitely thankful for everything I have right now. Because, you know, X amount of time ago, I probably wished I was in this current place. You know, so it's just about keeping it in perspective, keeping it in the now, and whatever you can do right now to make your life better, just focus on that. Don't even worry about what tomorrow has. Don't even worry about what yesterday had. You know, so like the video that I made recently on IG. You know, it's about putting together those that a constant stream or a constant, you know, of good days. You know, positive days every day. You know what I mean? So it's like if you put together the more of a string that you put together, those good days, those positive days, that's going to propel you into, you know, the life in a sense that you want to be leading. If you're not leading the life that you want to lead right now, or getting you out of that negative mindset that you've been in. So it's like, yeah, just focus on what can you do right now. Don't even worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Because it's all like, if you think about it, and that's what that book also kind of breaks down, is that time in a sense is an illusion, because it's always about now. The past, present, and future is all right now, because if second by second by second by second by second by second, past, present, future, past, present, future, past, present, present, future. You know what I mean? Like the past was 5 seconds ago. The present is right now. The future isn't, you know what I mean? And so you're always in the past, present, and future. Because in a sense, time is all, because you know, it's like every second is you're going boom, boom, boom. Like, so when you think about it, it's like, where's the past, where's the present, where's the future? It's all one.
Not to cut your wisdom though, but it reminds me of what it's called, the butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect, yeah.
Yeah, that right there, and how so if one occurring of a situation can change your whole life, imagine what one thought can do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. And also who broke that down? Like there's 86,100 seconds or something in a in a day, is it? Say it's in
Right.
a day. So you're gonna
86,
let
I think, or something.
yeah, 86, something like that. But you're gonna let 10 seconds, you know, so if you have something happens, you know, for say a minute, you're gonna let that one little minute affect all the rest of that. You're gonna throw away all the rest of that. You know, it's like if somebody took away, you know, 100 seconds from you, you gonna give them the rest. You gonna give them the rest of the 86,000 that you have. You gonna just throw away the rest of it because you got taken away from for 100 seconds or whatever. I mean, you understand what I'm saying. So it's a matter of like, don't let something so small like a moment affect the entirety of your life, of your day. Take it for what it is. Okay, if it's something, can I directly affect it right now? What can I do to change it? What can I do to affect it? If you can, then do that. If you can't, it's like, okay, this is where we at, and deal with it.
That's real. I
Any
don't
other
know, man.
words of wisdom?
These are combos that you kind of got to reflect a little bit. Like I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down, but as you're talking, it's kind of like it's hitting. It hits your mental a little bit different. You know what I mean? Because you gotta like I'm dissecting each word and the impact that they have, and it's just like we really only got now. Like you said, like I said, the best moments we have in life is right now. I mean, we on borrowed time and we living in a human experience with these avatars. So it's like you ain't gonna have your best year every year. You know what I mean? You gonna have moments within that year that created great memories that then turned it into a good year. You're not gonna have a whole 365 days of just blossom. You know what I mean? You have to be realistic. You can definitely strive for that. You can definitely pray, manifest, and put your best foot forward to get that. But in reality, you're gonna have about, a good portion of that taken away from you because we humans. But it's like, what are you learning from these experiences? What are you taking away from what you're going through? And I think the quote that I love now, especially as of lately, it's like you got to grow through what you go through. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you're not taking a lesson out of what you're doing or what you got going on or the people you're around, the food you eat, and all that stuff, then you kind of just now you just existing in this world. You're not living. You don't want to just exist as a being. Like, no, what's your purpose? Find out what's your why. You know what I mean? Tap in. And then you start to find some reasons to be mad. Like, I ain't got no reason to be mad. I ain't this. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be honest with yourself. Like, I'm not really doing nothing. Get up off your ass and sit down and what I mean, talk to yourself. Talk, hold yourself accountable. Find out why you are who you are. That way you can get the help that you need if you need it, or that way you can start to find the outlets that's there that you can use. Otherwise, it's like again, you just living. I mean, just existing. You don't want to just be existing in this world where not having a conscious mindset will put you in even a worse position. So it's just like really, really sit down with yourself and analyze life. Sometimes it's okay to be still. It's okay to not do nothing. I seen a post earlier. It's like when the last time you did nothing and just sat there, and I'm just like, damn, my ass knowing me, like I'm the most on the go person, at least to what I think. But it's like to me, I think I don't be moving that much, but to the outside, it's like sit your ass down. But it's like when you realize, like, yeah, let me just sit today. It's like, okay, I can find peace in that. Find peace in solitude and just being still and not like doing all that extra stuff. And sometimes that's again with this world that we live in, it makes us consume so much that we on the go, that we eat our foods fast now. We're not really sitting at the dinner table no more. You know what I mean? We want the relationship to be fast. We want to make 100K in 2 months. Like you kind of gotta allow things to happen the way they're supposed to happen to get the real experience and to get that process understood. But you can't do that if you in so much of a rush and you just trying to go 100 and a 50. Like you're gonna crash eventually. Take some time to yourself, find balance and peace within yourself by yourself. So you know how to love yourself. Then you can start, you know, teaching that to everybody else. Or even just finding better ways to love yourself. Like you said, Ty, giving gratitude. Every day you wake up should be the first thing you do. I got 10 toes, I got 10 hands, I got two eyes, and the third one up there, I got two ears. Like that's about 10 things right there. You grateful for before you even picked up a phone, before you picked up and looked at your bank account. Like, I'm good. So the little things matter.
Yeah, because sometimes we can put so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves to cause the stress and the depression and things that we deal with. Just like to add to what you were saying, Cole, like just added things, that, like unrealistic things that, may not happen tomorrow. Let's just say, it might happen, but it may not happen. But you put so much pressure on yourself to where you start worrying about it, or if you don't see it, you want to give up. You don't feel like that is for you. And but a lot of times, just like with a farmer, the farmer is the best. um that's the best example that you can use as far as like planting something and waiting for the harvest to come, because you have to nourish that soil. You got to make sure you water it. You got to make sure it is good, and good soil, good bad soil. It's a good thing between all of that. And you have to focus on your harvest. You got to think about your harvest, but you got to go through the patience and the process. And that's what the biggest key is, the process. And another thing I want to say before I, wrap it up with myself is like, um, just remember that May is mental awareness month, and like that's just something that's very, very big. Like, just ask people, just ask them, are they okay sometimes, are you all right, man? You want to talk about it, or like that. But just finding somebody and finding something that you can have like an outlet, or something that, like, we had just expressed all of our activities and things that keep us going mentally, like going sit by the water, and and just gather your thoughts, man. Like, so these conversations are very deep, man, and it's very helpful, because we able to be vulnerable and tell the people how we feel, and they receive it. And that's the best thing, man. If you could just touch one person, that's just beautiful, bro. It's just beautiful. So I'm glad y'all enjoy our conversations too as well. Like, I love that, man. It's just been it keeping us going and keeping us motivated to keep talking about these type of topics.
Absolutely, man. Like I remember, I shared a video to the group, man. I want to see if I can pull it up, but the one it speaks to what we're talking about. To where the dude said, let's see, matter of fact, see if I can pull it up. So basically, yeah, suicide is a, hold on, let's see. He just basically talks about how like the rate of suicide will be cut down if men had a community, like if people had, that was a big deal, because like I said, that's why we started this in the first place, is so, we can have a place to go to, and, brothers to keep us accountable. Yeah, 90%, 92% of men that were seeking help at the time, that died by suicide. Now it said out of 92% said 80 were deemed at low risk. Basically saying, yeah, yeah, basically, like I said, man, like the suicide rate could be brought down dramatically if men had a community that people that they can, count on. And that's a big deal, man, because like I said, that's for the most part why we started doing what we're doing. And so we can, have, be able to share what's on our mind, and like I said, if you don't, you gotta grow through what you go through. You gotta grow through what you go through. If you don't go through it, how are you gonna grow through it? Grow to it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a big deal. And also, when you said something about purpose, it reminded me. I just seen a bumper sticker on my way home yesterday. It said, "The purpose of life is to have a life of purpose." And I was like, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. You know what I mean? It was one of those things that, like, you see things when you need to see them. And I thought that was pretty heavy. So it's like, a lot of people, if like find a purpose is basically, long story short, when you find a purpose, that really will solve a lot of your issues. You know, if you're out here just feeling like you just, like I said, if you're just out here existing and not really living, maybe you need to look for your purpose in life. And once you find that purpose, that will take away a lot of the you know, in a sense, anxiety, a lot of the different pains that you might be going through, because it's like you, in a sense, you found a reason to keep going. So. Anything you want to add, Henry?
No, there's nothing else I can add to it. Another great discussion.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, you know, like I said, this so pretty much wrapping up what we, you know, what we all spoke on, man. It's just a matter of, you know, finding something that resonates with you, that you can, you know, find that outlet, you know, be it working out, be it music, be it, say, a community of people, be it journaling, you know, find something, find an outlet that you can rely on. And like Henry said as well, make sure that you know, if you don't got at least one good friend that you can lean on, you got to find a new set of friends. You know, you might have got to find a new set of friends. It's important to at least have one person that you know you can count on. That's not going to judge you. That's not going, you know, make you feel bad for feeling, you know what I mean, feeling a certain way or just being down on yourself. Certain, you know, you got to have that one friend that's going to be there and help lift you up. You know. I think back to that video that Mike Epps just put out recently about when he was saying, you know, what he was going through on the set of All About the Benjamins, you know, and Cube was like, you know, stop doing that, man. You a king, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know, snap out of it, you know. And even if it's tough love, you still got to have somebody that's there that's going, you know, help, you know, if it, you got to shake, you know, shake it out of you sometimes. Like, you know, that sometimes you got to do that, but you got to have somebody there that's at least gonna pour into you, and you know, give you that love that you need. However they may need to add life to you, add value to you. So yeah, man, there's a lot of different ways, and like I said, that's why we here. So if anybody out there ever has, you know, anything that they want to share with us, if they feel like they can't share with nobody else, if they, you know, they don't have nobody around, don't hesitate to hit us up, man. Like, don't hesitate. You can always leave a message on our Instagram, on the group Instagram, or our personal Instagrams, or you know, our email as well, brofoundation23@gmail.com. Um, hit us up. You know, like that's what we're here for. This is a community for us to make sure that, you know, we all are on our square. You know, so yeah, and we have to have these types of conversations. And pretty soon, you know, we gonna open it up to where we can have like a roundtable / Zoom type of talk, to where, you know what I mean, anybody wants to come on, we just sit up and just chop it up. You know what I mean? Almost like a group, you know, like going to a group, you know, you might go to, you know, how they have these, you know, different groups that you can actually physically go to, but we're gonna do it on Zoom. And there is one thing I did want to say, because I think I forget exactly which one you guys said it, but when you got to sit with yourself, the pandemic exposed a lot, not necessarily exposed people, but the pandemic back in 2020, which is crazy to think it was like 4 years ago now, that really kind of, people had to figure themselves out, you know, because you were forced to stay home. You couldn't go nowhere, you know, and you had that really, in a sense, made it, you know, forced people to figure out who they were. You know, a lot of people realize, man, I can't just sit with my thoughts. I can't just sit by myself. You know, you got a lot of people, so-called extroverts or whatever you want to call them, or people that need to have people around them at all times. Those people went through it, man. Those people really went through it, and it was hard. I mean, relationships were tested. because you were forced to stay in the house all day, every day with you, with your spouse, with your significant other. You know, you really figured out if you liked them or if you didn't like them at all. You know what I mean? Like you really, like I said, a lot of people found out about themselves, found out about their relationships, found out about their lives and during that time. And so it's, you know, being that we're not in the sense in that time frame anymore, you still got to take that time out and figure out, okay, boom, who am I? You know, what can I what can I get through? What can I go through? You know, you got to be able to do that. So, yeah, like I said, I wanted to just make sure I kind of spoke on that because, like I said, I remember back in them times when you still got social media and you just kind of seeing people on their timeline just go through it like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this house. I can't take this anymore. I can't go nowhere, and you know, just really, it really brought out a lot of stress in people. You know, because that was a tough time for some people. Introverts like an introvert, like I mean, I don't say I'm an introvert, but I'm an ambivert, so to speak. But it was one of those things. It was like I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm at the house. Okay, boom. Start working out, reading books. You know, took courses. You know, taught myself how to cook. You know what I mean? Like, if this what we doing, and this what we doing. You know what I mean? Like, so you gotta, if, if that's what you gotta do, if that's what we doing, we in the house. Okay, we in the house. What I'm gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, in no sense of complaining about it. Like, shit, I was cool. Like, hey, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? But like I said, a lot of people were like that. But then there was a lot of people who couldn't handle it either. So it's like it allowed them to either figure themselves out. Like, okay, boom, how can I get out of this ill headspace, or they just tipped over even further. You know, hopefully they were able to come back, but you know, like I said, I know a lot of people, it really affected people. So yeah, but I mean, so yeah, just to cap it off, man, like just find whatever you can, whatever outlet that you can. If you need to hit any one of us up, I mean, you know, like I said, speaking for everybody, I'm sure everybody agrees. You know what I mean? Like just tap in with me, tap in with us. We're a DM away. You know what I'm saying? Email away. Whatever you need, man. We here to help in whatever way we can. So there ain't nothing else, man. Like I said, you know, another episode, another great conversation. And yeah, Bro Foundation, that's why we're here. So
Yeah.
peace to everybody that taps in with us. Continue to show support, and we're gonna continue to grow. So we appreciate y'all.
Yes, peace and love to all.
Peace.
Peace.